Let's do a little intro of the two of us, like a selfie being like, here's our van tour, kind of like, we're a couple wanderers.
And this is our van tour.
Finally. Just go all the time.
Okay, go.
All right, ready?
Ready?
Action. Okay. I don't know where to start. Okay, ready?
Yes.
All right, so we have a 2018 Mercedes Sprinter. We originally were looking at a lot of different things, Sprinter, Transits, I think even the Dodge Ram. We settled for the Sprinter because it was 4x4. What? One of the dogs is in the back. It was 4x4, and just like the actual size of it, we got the extended buckets. Alright, this is take two. One of our dogs is just staring awkwardly in the back. So we have a 2018 Mercedes Sprinter. We ended up getting the extended body, extended height, and the 4x4. Which was exactly for this reason, so we could drive on the beach and try not to get stuck. Alright. So before we get inside the van, just wanted to show a couple things. So this is how we fill our water tank. We have a 22-gallon tank that's just mounted right underneath. So all we have to do here is, it's just a gravity fill. So we can either put a hose, or even if we just had like a large bucket or whatever into the hose, it would be able to just go down and fill the tank. And then right here, this is our propane. We chose to go propane over electric, but our propane water heater.
Try to just move your hand.
Propane water heater. And then just really the last thing.
We also have
on this side.
the...
Oh yeah, we have a gray water tank. So one of the things that we regret the most is, you know, we have a big freshwater, a 22-gallon. You can't really see it. There's just a small 7-gallon gray water here. So it's kind of annoying because we basically, our sink is like 5 gallons.
I'm not sure, but
5 gallons-ish. So if we like fill the sink doing dishes, you know, all that kind of stuff, this thing fills up super fast. But what's nice is, we'll show you on the inside, we put a jettison valve on here. So here, let me show everybody. So underneath here, right there, there's a switch on the inside. And once we flip that switch, this opens and we drain. So we don't have to, you know, always go underneath and play with all this stuff. What these are for is our propane shutoff, and this is just an overflow for our fresh water. And the last little thing is, this is our propane. I don't know if you can see it under there. Yep. So we've got like a 2.6 gallon propane system, which is for our water heater and for our oven, which we'll show you now. What's it?
the inside. We have a nice little cubby over here. We have some of the dogs' poop bags, and when they have balls, we have that in there. A shovel for if we're ever in the woods and need to go poop.
Number 2.
And this over here is our heater, our S-bar. It's mounted underneath the passenger seat, and then we just have like a pipe that comes out here, gives us some heat. And over here is, I mean, Perry will show you, is...
So that's the intake for the S-bar, and this is the exhaust. So we basically just mounted it right underneath. I can show them real quick. So this is the S-bar just underneath the seat. So it's just like a little combustion engine almost, but it connects directly to the diesel, and then sucks air in, and then it blows hot air out.
We also decided for the design is we wanted a wall here, and the reason for that is because I wanted the separation between the living space and the driving space. It also gives us some privacy when we're stealth camping, because no light from the inside goes out. So the door just opens.
And then chaos comes in. Oh, there's one, and there's the other. Hello, boys.
We can just latch it when we're driving. We've often left that unlatched and it slides open. Hey, boys.
All right, go back to your dungeon.
Come on. Okay.
You'll get to see what it's like with two crazy dogs.
And then over here we have all our food. We originally had our food up here, but the heat from the sun warmed it up. So we moved our dishes here, brought the food down here, and we have a Dometic fridge.
I forget the size of it, but it's nice because it's got freezer, fridge, and then kind of just like a cool section.
Yeah, for condiments. That's our fridge.
And those locks are clutch.
Yep. And like I said, we moved some of our dishes here. And then over here we have all our toiletries and medicines, which is great for when you brush our teeth, we wrap out the sink. So that's that. We then have Mac. Come on, buddy. Go. Underneath the sink, we have this is our drying rack. I mean, Perry can speak about what's underneath here.
Yeah, so basically, this is what I showed you on the outside. This is the water heater, and then underneath we've got the water pump, and then we've got our water filters over here. So it's all in one spot, which is really nice.
We have like our hose to help fill it up.
Some leftover wine.
Some Pedialyte for when I was sick. And then what's nice is we have this button over here is for our water pump, and we have running water, which is great. And then, you know, if we switch that off, it would eventually just run. So that's really great to have. And then this over here, I'm not going to push it now because we are at the beach. But this little button is our jettison valve. So if we push that, it releases the water in our gray water tank. So that's the kitchen. Well, actually, this side.
Half the kitchen.
That was half the kitchen. We have our Dometic oven, which we absolutely love. Literally no complaints about this. And obviously it's propane, so the propane tank that was that we showed you earlier is what fuels this. It's really great, really easy to use.
And it doesn't use a ton of propane.
No.
Like, really surprisingly, it's been 6 weeks.
Yeah, we
haven't filled up our propane yet, so.
And then underneath here we have some of our spices and some dry goods. We originally had our pots and pans in there, but it just worked out easier to access our spices while we're cooking. So that's that. Here's some of our dishes and like Tupperware and, you know, baking dishes that we had there, but we couldn't really tell what all of our spices were. So we have that, and we have 2 little trash cans, which are clutch. We almost didn't have a trash can.
Yeah, it would have been a nightmare.
And then, yes, I guess like this part, we have a little bit of the kitchen here. We have some utensils and some cups and coffee maker and all that jazz. So that's the kitchen. And then these two are some like just dry goods, trash cans, tinfoil, and some toiletries in there. That's the kitchen. Yeah. And over here we're moving on to the bathroom. This is our shower. Right now we use it as a storage. a storage place for our towels, for our toiletry bags, because when we go shower at Planet Fitness, easy access. And we have a little porta potty that we use in emergencies, like our laundry and just some paper towels and toilet paper. Being at the beach, they have porta potties for us, but they don't have toilet paper, so we use that. That's the shower. I've showered twice, Perry showered once.
It's amazing!
Yeah, sometimes we think would we change anything in the van? Would we take the shower out and have it as storage? And before Perry showered, he said probably, but when he showered, after he showered, he was like, no, it's pretty clutch. So for emergencies and when we're out in the mountains or something and don't have access to a shower, coming back from a hike, it's a nice little thing to rinse off. So that's the bathroom. Let's move on to the bedroom. This just has some books, incense, candles. I love my candles.
If you want proof, let me give them proof of how much. I'm gonna give you guys proof of how much she loves her candles. In case we ever get pulled over, fucking candles everywhere. Okay.
It's not my fault. Tea light candles come in like packs of 100.
She buys 3 packs at a time.
No. Okay, so that's just odds and ends, some books and stuff. Over here we have our electrical system. When I'm done, you know, showing you the inside, Perry can talk a little bit more about this. And then over here we have, this is great. It's a glorified clock, but it also tells us how much water is in our fresh water tank. And yeah, we use Verizon for Wi-Fi. And then we come to our closet. We have Perry's clothes, shared underwear, and my clothes. And then just some odds and ends up there. And then over here, we have a great lagoon table, which we can just scooch out the way. But over here we have some more of Perry's clothes and some more of my clothes. And that's about all the day-to-day storage we have. Underneath this bench, we have our electrical system, which again, Perry will talk to in a bit. It's all sealed up. We got it from Tiny Watt Solar, so thank you guys, but they cover it all up. But he'll talk to that. Over here, we have some workout stuff, which is great. We can access it from this angle. And then what's great is this, I mean, we can open the doors in a bit, but this pops out, also gives us access. So some workout stuff, our rock climbing gear. And then at this bench, we have, it's divided into two. It's a little bit of a mission to open it up with a table, but on this side of the bench is all our bedding, and on this side of the bench we have tools, yoga mats, all the covers for our windows, just like dog leashes, odds and ends. But what happens at night is we'll do a little recording tonight and add it to the video, but the table will come down and rest on these ledges. We have a little leaf that goes over there, all 4 cushions coming together, and that's our bed.
And they're bored with us, right, bubs? Right, guys? Okay.
So that's it. Well, Perry will talk a bit about the electronics. So you give me the camera, and you can talk a bit about that.
Okay, here we go, switcheroo.
Hey, it's recording.
Okay, what am I talking about? Oh, the electronics. So basically the nuts and shells of what we got going on here is, this is something called Wee
The
Boost.
nuts and shells?
The nuts and bolts?
The nuts and bolts.
We're on the beach, the nuts and shells. Did I really say the nuts and shells?
Yeah, you just said nuts and shells.
Okay. So this is the first part. We have a Wee Boost. So this basically, it doesn't give us Wi-Fi, but what it does is it takes our like cellular signal and boosts it. So a lot of times if we are only getting like 1 or 2 bars, we might be able to get boosted up to 3 or 4. And then we use like a jetpack, and then we just have mobile hotspots on our phone and stuff. But this here, it doesn't necessarily make a big difference, but when we start getting into the mountains and things like that, and we're trying to work and we just have no signal, this thing is great for boosting 4G. And then essentially everything else we have here is, this is the control system for our S-bar unit. So it's basically how we just turn on and off and program if we want the heater to turn on. This is just measuring our battery system, our electrical system. So we've got how many hours we have left, the percentage that we've got charged, how much power we're drawing, things like that. But we also have this on our phones, which is nice. And then this is just kind of a big, looks like a big Game Boy, but we use this to essentially turn our inverter on or off. And that's just to go from DC to AC. And then we can also use this to be able to charge our batteries, because our batteries, so we have 4 100 amp hour batteries, and they charge 3 different ways. We've got 400 watts of solar on the roof. When we're driving, once our starter battery is charged, it'll switch over and start charging these from the alternator. And then we can also just like plug into a regular like 120 volt, house outlet, and it'll charge the batteries there too. So we have 3 different ways. Honestly, if it's sunny, we're fully good with our solar. We don't draw that much power, and on a semi-cloudy day, we've had 2 laptops, an iPad, all of our phones, all the lights on, fan on, and we're still charging the batteries. But on cloudy days, like really cloudy days or rainy days, maybe not after 1, but maybe after 2 days, we've definitely had to just go for a short drive to really boost the batteries up. And then here, like Nicole said, this is just to monitor our tanks. So originally we wanted to monitor all our tanks, but because the gray water is so small, it's only hooked up to monitor the fresh water. The other thing it does, like she said, is it's just a very expensive, I don't even know how to get back to the other
clock.
Screen. Very expensive clock. Then in terms of like electrical outlets, most of everything in the van runs off of 12 volt DC. So that's just easier because we have our batteries, and to go from DC to AC, you have to go through the inverter, which just draws more power. So we've got tons of USBs. We've got 4 here, 4 under here, and then a couple, 120 volt outlets as well.
Nice toes, babe.
Nice toes, pedicured. Honestly, I think that's kind of it for the electrical system, right? I mean, basically just to show, we've got our lights kind of split into 2, and they're on dimmers. So we've got one half, and then the other half is here, which is nice because that way when we're in bed, we can kind of shut everything off on this half and then just come to this half. And we have under lighting as well. And then, the most clutch fan in the freaking world. Yeah, so that is, I think, essentially everything with the electrical. So the next thing we're going to show you is,
I mean, that's the
I think that's it. That's the van. Surprisingly, yeah. Oh, I can just show right here too. We have a is this a Dometic?
No, Max Air.
Max Air fan, which is really clutch because we don't have an AC unit in the back of the van. So we have heat, which is awesome. So I think we've been as low as like 1 or 2 degrees Fahrenheit. And the S-bar is great, it cranks and it's super warm, but we don't have any way to control like bringing the temperature down other than opening the windows and turning that fan on. But it is really powerful, it's really good, and you crack open a window in the back and a window in the front, and you turn that fan on and it creates like a really nice circulation. I think if anything, I'd probably wish we had 2 of them, but I don't think we even have room on the roof. Oh, I can show the solar on the roof. I'll do that real quick and then we'll peace out. The antenna at the top is the WeBoost antenna, and then we have 2 external lights that we added to the van, which is really great at night to be able to just see if anyone's knocking, see who they are, or if we just want to do stuff like have a campfire or sit out or something like that, you can turn the lights on, let the dogs out, which is really nice. But let me show you the solar real quick. Official way to get up without a ladder. So this is our solar. So it's a 400 watt single panel, which is really nice. That's obviously the Max Air fan, the lights, the WeBoost, and then you can see underneath where all the cables go in, and we fed them through. And that's how we get most of our power. Action.
Okay, so we're gonna make the bed. I'll probably speed it up a little in the editing process, but this is how we do it. So this is how
we do it. This is how Nicole does it.
This is how I do it.
Because I don't make it very often. And the noise in the background is me putting groceries away.